on Kumawu, let me use this platform to make this point. You see, the Electoral Commission is up to some mischief in Kumawu.
Oh, what do you mean?
Yes. You see, Jane Mensah went to Parliament and passed what we call CI 127 to regulate the organization of parliamentary and presidential primaries, right? If you look at CI 127, it has a schedule or a schedule, or you understand, in that schedule is the critical issue of how the pink sheet for
the 127 CI.
Yes. How the pink
That's
sheet
what regulates currently, unless we have a new one.
Absolutely. That is, you are supposed to have a pink sheet for presidential and parliamentary result. Do you know what Jane Mensah decided to do? She had decided to print the pink sheet, which does not correspond with what the CI 127 says.
How so?
And do you know the reason why?
How so?
If you look at CI 127, it says that the pink sheet so created should have a column for number of persons verified. And by verification, it's either using the BVD or what they call facial recognition. These two. Then you have a third layer called the manual verification. Do you know what she had done? She had put in the pink sheet, the manual verification column, without any column for the number of persons electronically verified. Now, the end result is that anytime you have that situation, it allows for ballot stuffing. Because then you not have the opportunity. It will look like everybody that is voting manually.
You don't have polling agents there?
No, even when you have polling agents,
you're talking
it
about
matters not. The law, the maker of the law. And in fact, the CI is actually a creation of Jane Mensah herself. She herself put in how the CI, the pink sheet should look like. Deliberately, they have decided to take the number of persons verified electronically out of the pink sheet. And it's for a purpose, to allow for ballot stuffing. So we have raised this issue. I am aware our acting director election had raised this issue to the level of Samuel Tete at the EC. Anytime they've been trying to dodge the critical question, how they have decided that for the 74 polling stations in Kumawu, they will decide to use pink sheets that do not have the number of persons electronically verified. A mistake they committed in the 2020 election and have decided to repeat it. There's an opportunity to correct. Why are you repeating that mistake? Just to allow for ballot stuffing. So we are putting that on record. I've also listened to the vice president at Kumawu make the point. And if you listen to him, you begin to ask yourself, that is this vice president, excuse my language, really thinking at this critical moment? Because if you have a situation where...
I mean the vice president's insert on the platform?
Yes. And
Daniel, do you have that insert?
Please, if you can play.
Daniel,
look,
let's get that insert.
At this critical moment...
The vice president on the platform in Kumawu.
At this critical moment, where Ghanaians, for the first time, we are having to see pensioners who have decided to manage their lifestyle well. The little money that they have by way of their life savings to buy their diabetes, high blood pressure medications. Bawumia and his boss, Akufo-Addo, have eaten all the money, including the life savings of these pensioners. And when he had the opportunity to speak to these pensioners who are in Kumawu, what did he say? Oh, that we are not going back to Dumso. Oh, we are not going to this. I think our vice president is living in the world of his own.
Let me play this.
Very well.
Vice president on a political campaign platform, Kumawu.
The why never to a mano. Number one, and yes, sir. NDC Omunam Ho, Omunsi and to a Bama NDC candidate. Omukasa, you will feel more now. And I say, and drink Mukai NDC Omuohono, Yeda Susumu, Dumsomo, Efienum, and yes, sir. Omupesa, yes, Uncle Dumsobium. Musa Pesa and Sanko Dumsobium. And as I'm a person, Uncle Fa, a confirmer, Omuko Bokina. Okay. NDC Brasso factories. Mianupe na omotimisi here. 2. Yedia is over 150.
You see, in this critical time, when you require a vice president who will be sober, you have a situation where
this recalling message from
before
MPP was voted.
No, this particular one, this chatterbox of a vice president, does not appreciate the hell that he and his boss are putting Ghanaians through. The people in Kumawu are having to pay cumulatively 75% on electricity never seen before. And when you have the opportunity to speak to the mind, the heart of these people, what they have done is to reduce the campaign platform to comics. This comedian of a vice president. I think you see that time.
What do you mean by
and
comedy?
You see, painfully, we are having to endure this comedy for at least 1 year. Painfully. Look, Ghanaians are going through hell. When in your life, Paul Grave, have you seen pensioners having to picket, not because they want money from government of Ghana, their own monies? And if your vice president has the opportunity to speak to these people, he reduces the conversation to comedy.
What do you mean by comedy? He talks about...
I mean, look, and on the question of Dumso.
He said Dumso.
You see something, if you are not watchful, the things you say to this particular vice president, it will be terrible. He himself went into the studios of Joy FM and said, look, John Mahama has solved Dumso. He himself. So before he became vice president, John Mahama had already solved Dumso. Now listen, as the chair of the economic mismanagement team, what has been Baumier's contribution to our energy stock? Nothing. Zish. They are still using car power. They are still using AXA. They are still using Ameri. They are even moving Ameri to Kumasi. And you know the disingenuous part? Do you know that because they want to hide the identity of Ameri, they have now renamed it Kumasi Power Projects? Because they want to take the John Mahama connection with the project from it. How in God's name can you do this? So the point ought to be made, and maybe let me conclude on this. You know the MP, the late MP? Baswa. Do you know the hell that he went through?
Who told you? He told you.
Please, I'm coming. The hell that he went through in the hands of Baumia and Nanado Danquah Kufado. And his only crime was that as an MPP MP, he was associated with Alan Chermantin. So one, they denied them development. They denied them social intervention. Immediately the man died. Do you know what they did? They quickly mobilized construction tools to their constituency. Even your own MP. And the worst of it all, you know he's also a member of the Kumawu Assembly. Do you know that this MP was denied the opportunity to vote when it came to the election of the DC for the community? All because of the machination of Baumia and Nanado Danquah Kufado. Today, you are spitting on his grave.
Roland.
How terrible can you be?
I'm surprised that people do not know what government has done. Or people like to hear some mischievous comments from the NDC as it relates to what government has done with the borrowing. And if you may, what Ekufuado, President Nanado Danquah Kufado has done with the borrowing is this. I will speak on Kumawu. We have built 13 interchanges in 8 years. Evidence is here. Evidence is here.
Name them.
I will name them.
Name them.
I will name them.
Name them.
I will name them. We have completed the Suhum interchange. We have completed the Tamale interchange.
There was a project ongoing. You said
we have completed Obechebi interchange phase 1. We have completed Tema motorway interchange phase 1.
This is a money that John Mahama got from the Japanese government. 54 million.
For the avoidance of the viewers. I didn't distract when he was speaking.
No, he's lying, and I will not permit him.
Good conduct expects that he gives me the credit. Good conduct.
No, but you are lying.
No, but he lied a lot.
When you lie, when you decide to mislead,
he said you were lying.
When you decide to mislead people,
we don't have time. We'll end.
That's misconduct.
He lied a lot.
I had the
decorous to listen
he
to
has
his
the
line.
decorum. He has the decorum
And now
to
I have the
listen to you.
opportunity to rebut
Please
to the
bring
very
water for
discerning
Edudzi
young
and
people.
Pam
And the
with water.
discerning Ghanaians who are
Daniel, please
listening.
bring water.
He's purported a lot of lies on this
I don't have the
platform.
time. Let him
He's
talk.
purported a lot of lies. I don't know.
Interchange was
Roland,
under
is this what you
construction.
want to subject your program
2016,
to?
I was there.
No.
Is
Suhum
this what you want to
interchange
subject
was
your
under
program to?
construction.
Roland,
It
is this
not
what you want to subject
Edudzi,
your
Edudzi,
program to?
Edudzi,
Edudzi,
Let him have his
response.
no,
Please note it down.
No, you
Is this
Note
what
it
you
down.
want to
Note it
subject
down.
your
Note
program
it down.
to?
If
Note
you
it down.
respect-
Note it down. Note it down.
Unless you give me the opportunity.
Please
to
note
rebut.
it down.
Would you
Note
give
it
me
It's
the
my time
opportunity
for me
to
to
rebut.
speak now.
Let
My
him
time
talk.
for me to
Very well.
speak.
Give me the
We'll
opportunity
give you the
to
It's my
rebut.
time for me to rebut.
If you have a rebuttal, I'll give you 3 minutes.
No one has an
Thank you. Let him go
opportunity
ahead.
to sit on a very
Please go ahead.
credible
Go ahead.
platform. Let me speak. On a very credible platform like TV3 to purport lies. If lies are purported, a discerning viewer like me, I made all my notes. Then I can be able to rebut. These are evidences
What are the projects?
of projects that we have done.
Please name them again.
I will name them.
Edudzi, take note so that you don't
Oh,
come and beat him.
We have
I don't
want you
completed
today.
Suhum Interchange. We have completed East Legon Underpass. We have completed Tamale Interchange. We have completed Obechebi Interchange Phase 1.
East Legon started before.
We have completed Tema Motorway Interchange Phase 1. We have completed Pokwasi Interchange. Ongoing works, as I speak to you now, is the Nungwa Interchange. You can go and have a look at it. Ongoing works is the Jingalon Interchange ongoing. PTC Interchange Sino-Hydro ongoing. Obechebi Lamte Interchange Phase 2 ongoing. Flower Pot Interchange ongoing. Bombaria, Dowenya, Pram, Savannah interchanges ongoing. These are evidences of works that we have done with the borrowing. And I'll go on because you see, these lies does not augur well for the level of governance that we seek to do. What has President Nana Danquah Akufo-Addo done? We have borrowed to be able to rehabilitate and build international standard airports and aviation hubs such as Tamale Airport, Phase 1 and Phase 2, Kumasi Airport, Phase 2, Ho Airport rehabilitated, and the commission of the Sunyani Airport and Takrady Airport.
The
As I
phase 1
speak
of
to you,
Kumasi 2 is Nanado.
Phase 2.
Okay, phase 2.
Phase 2 of Kumasi Interchange. What have we borrowed to do? We have borrowed to rebuild the collapsed Ghanaian railway industry. We have now in Greater Accra,
The AFCON's projects, in Pakadan.
in the railway, we have built railways in Central Region, Western Region, Volta Region, Ashanti Region, Northern Region for the benefit of the operation of locomotive
Danny, please take the
transportation.
pictures, some of the pictures of the
What have we
projects.
borrowed to do? We have borrowed to build CHIPS compounds. We have built Eastern Regional Hospital. We have built maternity. We have built neonatal inter-ICU at Konfanochi Hospital. We have built Somenya Hospital. We have built Tain Hospital. We've built Buipe Hospital. These are the hospitals that our government is doing and building. We are even constructing 111 district hospitals. What have we borrowed to do? We have borrowed to build 7 brand new STEM senior high schools. Now, Roland, I tell you of a truth and a fact. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics must be learnt at the very basic level. We are here. We are talking about the manufacture of mobile phones. We are talking about the manufacture of vehicles. We are talking about high-level AI things that are about to transform this country in the next few years. It's been by the ingenuity of President Nana Danquah Akufo-Addo, forward-thinking government, forward-thinking educational level to be able to put this in place. What have we borrowed to do? We have borrowed to ensure that we have retooled the Ghana Armed Forces, retooled the Ghana Police, retooled the Navy, retooled immigration, retooled prisons, retooled fire service. We have brought in close to about 315 brand new ambulances that is in every single district in this country as I speak to you. We have made sure that we have provided over 7,000 motorcycles for visibility for the police unit. We have 2 new helicopters for the Ghana Police Service. And I can go on and on and on and on in terms of things that we have done in this country. We have digitalized the operations in this country. We have digitalized SIC, we have digitalized SNIS, we have digitalized DVLA, we have digitalized NHIS, we have digitalized Nice Commission, we have digitalized the banks, we have digitalized the Post and Harbour, we have digitalized birth and death. We have sought to digitalize this entire country. And so really, if you ask and say that President Nana Danquah Akufo-Addo has borrowed and there is no evidence to show, these are the evidences. Now let me go to
This is
Kumawu.
the second phase of the Kumasi Airport.
Absolutely.
It's even there. Just look at it.
I have seen it. I've been there several times. Now, let's go to Kumawu. Now, you see, I think that there's been some purported lies on the side of the EC. The Electoral Commission of Ghana is extremely credible in ensuring that as a tool administers peaceful, credible electioneering in this country. if the NDC claims that there's been some malfunctioning with pink sheets, they should put an injunction on the election. If they claim that there's been a change with pink sheets that's not tally, they should put an injunction on the election. I think that every single Ghanaian, every single electorate, every single politician has an opportunity to go to the law court. If you feel that the EC is trying to make sure that there's going to be stuffing of electoral ballot papers and all of those, put an injunction on the election. It's as simple as that. It's not right for you to sit here to discredit the very hard work of the Electoral Commission. And I think that it's important that we set that in place. The Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, for the NDC, anytime the Vice President speaks and he hits them to the core, they go very back to a personal attack. The Vice President has met with party paraphernalia. He's met with party grassroots people. What is wrong for the Vice President to remind Ghanaians of the plights that they went through? My children remember the plights that they went through under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama. My children remember. My nieces and nephews remember. The diasporas remember. The plight, the challenges, the struggles, how President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has opened up this country to the extent that we now have diasporans of African descent renegotiating themselves back into the country to help with our constant economic growth and retooling. And so clearly, I am in no doubt that the Kumawu election is going to be a win for the NPP. I'm in no doubt that the developmental structures that we have brought into Kumawu were already timetabled. I think that there is no one in our government, neither would there be anyone of a discerning view, desirous to want to take the advantage of a dead person to redevelop the environment. That is not what we are doing. And I think that it is wrong for anyone to think that we have gone into Kumawu to bring development because the Honorable Baswa is dead and then the Honorable Baswa was with Alan.
I think that's absurd.
It is very absurd and it is very new. I'm just hearing this for the first time. That Honorable Baswa, he was a member of parliament, a sitting member of parliament under the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in his own interest, seeks that every single sector of the constituency within the country receives development. And so these developments that are ongoing now have already been timetabled. It is not as a result of Honorable Baswa's death, for which reason we have gone there and we are doing these things. And there are no factions whatsoever, as far as I'm concerned and as far as I'm aware of. And so Kumawu will wish them a very peaceful election tomorrow. We are going to be there to ensure that observations.
I've had you on the show. I've never seen you charged up and so.
No, because I don't think that I have to sit for lies.
This is the first time.
For lies to be purported in this manner.
Inside lies, I'll send it to him after.
Lies are not good.
Just 3 minutes.
Good lies.
I'm telling you. 3 minutes.
First of all, Suhun interchange was not
180
by Akufo-Addo.
Seconds.
So that's barefaced lies. 2, Pokwase interchange. John Mahama went to Parliament, got the money, did everything. Paul Gray, don't do that again. Tamale Airport. In fact, I recall when John Mahama got the Brazilian facility, my own friend, Anthony Cabo, said there was no need for that Tamale Airport expansion program. And I remember John Mahama saying that, listen, the perennial issue of our country people in Tamale, the northern part, having to come to Accra before they can go to Jeddah for the Hajj program was dehumanizing. And so there was the need for that airport. It was done, delivered. Tema Impakadan Railway Line. John Mahama negotiated with the Indian Exim Bank, for $399 million. And that is what is being used. You have, look, you see, your mind, you can't think for such projects. So don't appropriate them. Don't do that. Do you know something? John Mahama went to Japan and got the Japanese to give us $54 million. That is what has been used for the Tema Motorway Interchange Program. Akufo-Addo has Akufo-Addo has no knowledge whatsoever about it. In fact, he can't even dream such projects. In terms of interchanges, we have done completed jobs. So, look, Gifford, what is now called the Mahama Road, the one that goes to Major Mahama and others. Have you seen that project?
The airport bypass.
Yes, no, not the bypass, not the one leading to East Legon. Even the one leading to East Legon, we assigned a contract. When they came, they said they wanted to do an audit of that contract. They did it, and they found no wrongdoing. And so now they have decided to continue with it. You can't even think That's the problem. The problem is that you can't think on your own.
You have
and
1
so
minute.
when you come and you continue the project initiated by someone, you are appropriated to it. What you do, even in academics, is that if you are taking somebody's work, what do? You reference the person. I can understand where you support the president who plagiarized highly his inaugural address. I can understand it. But the truth of the matter is that even the phase 2 of the Tamale project, it was initiated by John Dramani Mahama. The Kumasi Airport phase 2, initiated by John Mahama. You know what they did? When they came, they delayed the project. So the funding source became an issue. The same financier went to London and looked for a different funding source to come and do the project. How is that project yours? Do you really understand how to initiate project? But that's it. So if you pick the totality of what he claims in this book, that they have used our taxes for, you will see how wasteful.
Is this the same book you shared with me?
You will see how wasteful this government has become.
This is a public book.
The one that was given.
Oh, Roland, you are now interrupting me now.
But when I was speaking, he was interrupting.
The 3 minutes you've given me. Look, do you know when
this
you
is
cost
facts?
If you cost this whole project in this book.
Have you seen this document?
Yes.
Copy.
Yes. And that is why I'm just dealing with. If you cost this whole project, it's not even up to $11 billion of Eurobond.
How did you count?
Yeah, we have done the work on this. It's not even up to the $11 billion of Eurobond. This project. So what have you used that money for? Consumption, eating. So you have become a government of consumption for consumption by consumption. That is what you have redefined democracy to be.
I don't understand. So
Ridiculous.
they become government on what and what?
The government of consumption for consumption and by consumption.
Well, I have a very good friend of mine, Pope Yao Yevu. He is the secretary of the MPP for the Volta region. Pope, good morning to you.
Oh, Yavi.
Yes. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday to you. He says I should tell you. Tell Edudzi to stop the lies. Tell him that the MPs are ex-official members of the district assemblies. They don't have votes.
Oh, he was prevented.
I expect him to know this as a lawyer.
No, the video is there.
Birthday boy.
That's not the issue. The
birthday
video
boy.
is there. Basua was prevented from entering
I should tell you.
And he's not denying it.
He's
not denying it. But you see, even more important, Roland, is the fact that if you look at how much money we have given Bawumia and Akufo-Addo in 6 years, and what they have to show for it, it demonstrates beyond ineptitude that they are very reckless, extremely
Edudzi Tamaklo. You say your first name is Godwin, eh?
And we should
Godwin
have this government in place again.
He's a legal practitioner, also with the NDC's legal team. And then also Palgrave Boakye Danquah, a member of the Boakye North constituency of the MPP. He has finally decided to go for the primaries if the announcement is made for the MPP Boakye North constituency in the early part of 2024. It is the election year, as we all know. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I've enjoyed the conversation. It's the first time I've seen Palgrave very riled up. I don't know why he took coffee. Did you take coffee?
No, I've
been
taking
the man annoyed you this morning. I think I loved it. Charlie, give me a five. Charlie, bro.
Thank you.
Give me. People they watch. Oh, yeah. Well, so let me just say hi to a couple of people on our streams. Nana Brimpong, you're on our stream. Bob Manso, Sami Frank Bachman, Nimani Raskotoka, and then Imelda Nasser. I hope it's Nasser or Nasser. Good morning to you, Imelda, as well as all of you. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. We'll bring you more right here, including the latest sports update.